Hey, gentlemen, how you doing? Yeah, um, I'm gonna call this food for thought. Just like look at it as an update. Remember, and I think it's the first Husband Man Empress Club book, the first series, the chapter on husbandry. I told you, gentlemen, I do not talk to hear myself. I'm telling you what I have done and what I am doing. Today, like yesterday, I'm growing pomegranates. Now, yesterday, I watered the plants because I planted 20 seeds. So I said to myself, when I walked by my plants, when I came home from church, I said, I gotta water them. And then I stopped. And I looked back, and you know what I saw? Green! One of the leaves, one of the seeds is sprouting. That was amazing. That feeling is out of this world. That something I did is bearing fruit, so to speak. But you know what I mean. Seed time and harvest. You have to sow something to reap something. All kinds of lessons in this. But for me, the joy in it came from something I wanted to do and is now coming into being. Well, anyway, now I got into pomegranates because I'd fixed some lady's truck. And she had a pomegranate tree in her backyard. And she gave like 20 of them. Picked 20 of them for me and my dad. And she was like, man need to eat pomegranates. So I didn't know anything about pomegranates, so I went and checked it out, did my homework. I thought, oh, yes, we do. So what I do sometimes is go to the lady's house and like instead of taking payment for servicing a car, I would take the payment in pomegranates. Yeah, because the pomegranates are like from $3 to $5 each. So the amount of pomegranates I get from her is at the same price I would charge her to service a car. And I would get half the pomegranates if I go and pay for it in the food store. So after 6 months of this, it dawned on me, grow your own pomegranates. I was like, Dido? Oh, I didn't think of that. 6 whole months passed. So for a year and a half, I was trying to grow pomegranates. But I was doing it wrong. I thought the pomegranates were just like ordinary plants. So I just planted the whole thing, the red thing, and not knowing the little white thing in the middle was the seed. I had to take the red thing off it. So for a whole year, I was doing it wrong. That's the lesson in itself. That's the food for thought in itself. Anyway, I found out the right thing to do. So I planted it. I got some seeds to grow. And in like 18 months, 3-4 hurricanes came through and just destroyed my whole thing. My pomegranates, my watermelons, cantaloupes. Because after Hurricane Matthew, I think, no, before that, 3 years before, 2015, a hurricane came and destroyed all the watermelons. So you couldn't buy watermelons. And only watermelons on the shelf was seedless watermelons. And I don't eat that. So I decided to grow my own. And while I was at it, why not cantaloupes? Why not papaya? So my garden just kept growing and growing and growing. I tried to grow lemons, but I did grow lemons, but the hurricanes destroyed those, my orange trees, my mango trees. Anywho, long story short, I felt great joy seeing that my pomegranate trees were growing. I just wanted to share that. And on top of that, gentlemen, I have my own makeshift greenhouse. So this is something else, another food for thought. Do not wait, nor do you have to wait until you have things perfect to get started. I make my own greenhouse. My own greenhouse with 1x1 pieces of wood and plastic. Thick plastic and glue. I make my own greenhouse. Anyway, gentlemen, get your hustle on. And this is why I preach you need to have study husbandry. It gives you a great sense of accomplishment I can't explain it. It just left my soul to see that I've got my tree is growing. Now the thing is, I gotta wait almost 2 years before I get fruits from it. But in the next 2 years, I don't have to buy any fruits. And the thing is, the lady who I got the pomegranate from, her trees were destroyed in a hurricane. So I was back to square one. So I decided, well, I did grow my own, just that the hurricanes destroyed them. But this time, I'm growing them in the greenhouse. I'm growing them to at least 2 feet tall before I plant them in the ground. Because that's what I did with my moringa trees. I grew them until they were 2 feet tall and planted them. And of course, the first I got destroyed by a hurricane. The ones that I grew till they're 2 feet tall, they got destroyed in a hurricane. But thankfully, I kept at it. I've got a moringa tree at home. It's like 10 feet tall in less than a year. Anyway, so is my papaya tree. It's like 10 feet tall in like 6 months. Well, anyway, I just want to share that with you, gentlemen. All right. I don't talk to her myself. You hear me tell you? I'm actually doing. Don't forget that, gentlemen. Goodbye.